Hi everyone, it's Donna, and today we are talking about the lunar eclipse on July 5th, 2020. Now this eclipse actually falls on July 4th at 9:44 p.m. if you're on the west coast of the United States, as I am. And so this is a very significant eclipse for the United States because it does fall so close to Independence Day, or for people on the west coast, it falls right on Independence Day. And so with all the stuff going on, COVID and demonstrations in the street and economic troubles, this eclipse is quite significant. But that's more of the mundane level. When it comes to you as an individual, you still have lots of opportunities, and those are described for you in the eclipse itself. And so where this eclipse hits you and how the aspects play out tell you where the opportunities are. Your astrological chart is a GPS for you. It tells you what's ahead, and then you get to make the decisions about whether you are going to go forward or change directions. So in this video, I'm going to do an overview of the chart, and then I'm going to go sign by sign and talk about some of the predictions that I see for you. If you want a copy of your chart, there is a link in the description box below. Also, if you want your chart and you don't want to do any of the ways that I outlined in the PDF, just send me an email with your date of birth, time of birth, and your place of birth, and I'll send you a PDF copy of your chart. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. And if you like videos like this, hit the like button, as it really helps out the channel. So this lunar eclipse, of course, is on the full moon. All lunar eclipses are on full moons. I give a 5-degree orb on lunar eclipses. That means if you're born between the first day of the month and the 8th day of the month, or the last 3 days of any month, then this eclipse is hitting your sun. It may also be hitting planets in your chart. That you can tell if you get a copy of your chart. You can see if it's hitting your moon or your ascendant, etc. But if your birthday is between the first day of the month and the 8th day of the month, or the last 3 days of the month, you are being hit by this eclipse. So now I want to give you some of the highlights that I see in this chart. And I want to tell you that overall, this chart seems less intense than what we were doing with the first lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. Of course, those videos are already up if you want to check those out. Now with this chart, I say it's less intense to me because some of the aspects have formed and now the energy is dissipating. But there's always a little bit of a lagging indicator, and that does mean that we are going to see still COVID cases going up, demonstrations happening. There is still a lot of things going on. So just because the energy in general is lightening up, that doesn't mean that we're going to see it yet. Now, that does, though, mean that for you as an individual, the energy is less intense, and you're going to feel more ability to go and take action. And the reason being is not because things have changed so much, but because you are getting used to that energy. Now, this is based on that old story, where, how to cook a frog, which, I don't advocate cooking frogs, but this is the story, which is how you cook a frog is you do not put a frog in boiling water because he'll just jump out. What you do is you put him in regular water, lukewarm water, and then you slowly turn up the temperature. All right, I'm already feeling really sad about the frog. So, but what happens is the frog just gets used to it. So what's happened in your lives is that now you're more used to this very disruptive energy, which I would say is more of a credit to you being resilient, having inner strength, being adaptable, and I think all of those qualities are very important. So now I'm feeling bad I mentioned the frog story. So here are the highlights. What I see here is that Saturn is back in Capricorn, and it's at a critical degree, 29 degrees. Now, it's going to be in Capricorn for the remainder of the year, but as it turns and goes direct, it is going to then ask all of us to let go of something. Saturn is going to take something away from each person as it leaves Capricorn. And so what is that thing going to be? Well, that could be, it could be a relationship, it could be where you live, it could be your job, it could be the stuff in your house. We don't know specifically because I'm not looking at your chart, but what we do know is Saturn does take something, so it makes sense for you to give some sort of offering to Saturn in the form of letting go of something in your life. And that may be enough to have Saturn say, okay, I don't have to take anything else. And so if your job isn't working out for you, or if currently you're not working, finding another job would be a good idea. If your home environment isn't the best, what can you change about it? What can you let go? If your relationships aren't bringing you joy, then which relationships can you fix and which ones do need to be just released to the universe? So by you consciously letting go, then Saturn is less likely to take something from you. Now, that said, even if you do let go of a lot of things, Saturn could still come in and say, oh, you know what, you didn't let go of the right thing, and so it will still take something from you. But in this removal of something in your life, it actually will be to your benefit, because Saturn's only going to take something that's really holding you back or really an impediment to your success, because Saturn does want you to be a success. So look for what's not working, start to let go of that, and you may see Saturn helping you along. Now, Saturn is still making that inconjunct to the North Node, but they are not going to be exact again. So they're going to continue to separate because the North Node is going to move backwards faster than the Saturn is moving backwards. And so that's some good news. But this still means that there is some adjustments between what you do for a living and what your calling is. And that means that some adjustments are necessary. If you're not feeling truly fulfilled by your job, what can you do on the side for more fulfillment, even if that isn't something that is making you money? Or what can you start so you can slowly build it up so it can replace what you do as a quote-unquote job? So this is very much about looking at where you're putting your energies, and are you finding a way to go do your true calling? So Jupiter is still conjunct Pluto in this chart, but they are separating. Jupiter is retrograde. Actually, they're both retrograde, but Jupiter moves much faster, and so they're not going to come together again until November. And so right now we see that that energy, which is very focused and obsessed and can have addictive qualities to it, it is letting go. And basically what remains is the lessons. So I've been working on my own little addiction to television, or more accurately, videos. And so trying to do more reading and things like that. And now that this energy is going to separate, I feel very confident that I'm going to be able to tackle this once again. So look at where you feel that, something has a hold of you, and get control of it, because that's what the Pluto-Jupiter is about. Venus and Mercury are doing the semi-sextile, and that's a really interesting energy because it's just slightly irritating. Mercury's the planet of communication, Venus is what you want, and so as you state what you want, it's not really being heard or understood. And that is, you could be stating it to another person, or you could be stating it to the universe. If you have been making affirmations or wishes or statements to the universe and not receiving opportunities, maybe you need to look at how you are doing it and what you could do differently about it. I've thought a lot about affirmations over the years. A long, long time ago, I wrote an article about it. In fact, it was my first article published about different types of affirmations and how some are more effective than others. And one of the things that I've really found is that when you can embody the thing that is the thing that you want, you have a much better chance of achieving it. And that is to say, instead of saying, I want to exercise more, If you said, I'm the type of person who exercises every day, then you become that because you are embodying that. Or if you say, I'm a healthy eater, then you're more likely to eat healthy because that is in line with how you feel you are. But if you think that you are the opposite of those things, and just wishing to do it or trying to do it, it just feels like an uphill battle. So this semi-sextile does say to make some adjustments in how you are expressing your wishes and what you desire to yourself, to others, and to the universe. And then Mars is in Aries, and normally Mars would stay in Aries for about 2 months. In fact, any sign for about 2 months. But Mars is going to go retrograde on September 9th all the way to November 13th. And so we are going to have Mars in Aries between now and the rest of the year. And that's really intense energy because Mars in Aries is the clearest, strongest action-taking energy there is. It says, all right, you've done all the planning, you've done all the thinking, you've done the wishing, now it's time to actually do something. And so this is that idea that, like, if you've been wanting to do a podcast, then you should be flipping on your recorder every single day and just saying something into that recorder so that after a while you will get better at it and you'll find clips that you can use and finally whole shows you can use and so forth. It says just do it. If you've wanted to start a business, it's just time to go find a customer. Don't worry about the website being up or all of these different materials being perfect or things like that. Just find a customer and work out the details as you go. This Mars in Aries says just jump in head first, and that's going to be the best benefit for you. Okay, that's it for the overview.